Hi, how are
Hi.
you? Hello, it's Besties Beyond Borders, and we're here on our third episode,
Episode
right?
number
So
two.
it's been a while, so we're just trying to catch up. And look at you looking all cute and pretty today.
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love
I
the
always
glasses. I
enjoy
like the
having
bling
these
bling.
conversations with you.
Yeah, we always have some really great conversation. And so yeah, I just wanted to just have a simple conversation with you today. It's like I know you started something new recently, and I want to hear all about it, about visibility, clarity, and all that stuff that you started. So do you want to tell us a bit more about that?
You know what? Everything is an ongoing work in progress. So, what I really do is it's a continuation of what I've already started. And so, I thought I knew what I wanted, and I was sending all these mixed messages to the universe, and nothing was really landing. And the more I get clear, Layla, the more the universe is able to send me exactly what I want and what I'm looking for. So I recently updated all of my social media platforms because I was talking to too many people. And I realized that when you have a singular focus, that doesn't mean that your table doesn't have multiple legs, that you're not working on multiple things. It just really means that I have one thing that I'm focusing on for the next 90 days, and everything that I do has to align with that goal, including this conversation. So, this is a part of that as well.
Yeah, very nice. I like that you're mentioning being aligned with where you're going, the direction you're taking, and getting that clarity of like, where do I want to go, and kind of pick and choose what I need to do to get to where I want to go, right?
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
not trying to send too many mixed messages to the universe when you have too many iron in the hot fires, and then the universe doesn't really understand what you're looking for, and then it's just going to send you a bit of a mixed bag, or it doesn't send you anything.
That's true. And so, the more clearer I become, the more the universe is able to present opportunities to me for me to choose from. And so, just because I see an opportunity doesn't necessarily mean that it is for me, but it doesn't mean that it's not for me either. So, the great thing is that I get to decide, do I want to participate in project A, project B, project C? Neither. Do I want to create my own project? But because I know exactly what I want, all of the opportunities that I'm getting, I know are leading me into the direction. I love the idea that what you want in life is moving towards you at an equal vibration. And so if you're kind of plodding along like this, the things that you want are kind of plodding along as well. But if you're moving with intention and purpose, the things that you want are moving with intention and purpose towards you at a faster speed. And so the more you know what you want, the faster you can get to your destination.
Oh, I love that. I love how you frame that. It's sounds simple, but at the same time, you need to really kind of work on that messaging for yourself.
Hmm.
So things
Yeah,
kind of align together, right? So that's
they
that's
do.
amazing. And talking about that is like you recently started like your a second podcast, which is Carrie's Connect, and I've been showing up to your shows, and you have all these amazing guests, and we're learning so much about it. And how do you prepare for these shows? Because I'm sure you kind of have like your prep time, some kind of self care routine. How do you get your mindset into like connecting with your guests and then your audience? Like, what do you do?
Oh, well, first and foremost, the day before, I make sure that everything is pretty much set up. So I use StreamYard. I know some people use Restream or other platforms, but I set up the event inside of StreamYard. And the only thing I have to do when I get online is click go live. So I go into Substack and I set up the RTMP and I put that in StreamYard. The only thing I can't do the day before is Instagram because if I close the browser, then you have to get a new stream key, which doesn't make sense to set it up the day before. So that's the only thing that I do the day of. But the morning of, I always do meditation. I always do breathing. I just recently added movements to my breathing as well. And then I take a 1 to 2 hour bath.
That's a long bath. I mean, I
It
don't think I
is,
could do
but
more than 30 minutes.
it's so relaxing, and you can have eucalyptus or lavender or other types of scents and candles. And it's really just my time away to center myself. I don't allow any positive vibes to dissipate. Everything has to be positive. So if it's negative energy, negative vibes, negative conversations, I don't participate in it. I don't think about it. So I really make sure that I am in a really positive space before I jump online with my guests. And I do that for both of my shows. I have two shows. The second show I just recently adjusted as well, but the second show, Clarity from the Heart, same routine. Bath, breathing, meditation, me time.
It sounds
Yeah.
like a pretty good routine, but I'm still kind of hung up on the 2 hours.
Yeah,
That's like
you
some
know what?
serious self care. But
It's it is.
whatever works, works, right? So if that's like
Mhm.
what works for you, then
Mhm.
that's amazing.
Thank you.
I have I'm just wondering. So what inspired you to become a podcaster? I'm curious.
Oprah. Oprah
Oh,
Winfrey.
Oprah.
I
Okay,
love
tell me
the
more about
idea.
Oprah. Okay. I mean, love Oprah too. I mean, being, same here, but tell me more about Oprah.
Well, Oprah had a studio in Chicago, even though she's from Mississippi, I believe. But she had a studio in Chicago. And what I know is that she started small. She started in a studio that looks nothing the way the Harpo studio looked by the time that she retired. I know that she wasn't getting paid what she was worth, and a lot of things that she had to do for free. She faced a lot of personal challenges, legal challenges, but she continued to persevere. And so that for me, especially losing my mom so young, I look for powerful African American women who are doing things, not necessarily things that I want to do, but just to show me that there are things that I can do. And more importantly, to show me to push through.
I love that. And you know what? Oprah inspired me as well because growing up like in Canada, being a minority, a visible minority as a woman, I couldn't find anybody that can relate to
Hmm.
that was out there in the media, that was doing things, that was supporting the community, empowering people. And a few years ago, I was in a leadership training with some of my other leaders, and we had to do a vision board, and there's like all these magazines you got to cut certain images and kind of put where you see yourself the next 5 years as a leader, as where and for me I was like, I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to be able to build businesses, I want to be able to empower and help others. And then I put the only person that can find that match my closest to me was Oprah. So I put Oprah on my
Right.
vision board, right? I'm just like, she's amazing, she does all these cool stuff, I just want to be just like that. And growing
Hmm.
up, that's the show that I used to watch. So, and people was like, well, but it does make no sense. I was like, why not? She's powerful, she does lots of great stuff. So I totally hear you, but you probably know more about her than I do because I'm being in Canada. But she's such an inspirational to so many people, right? Because
Yeah, she really would be considered an international inspiration. So many people are inspired by her, but just like you have the positive stories about people, you have the challenging stories about people as well. And so to watch somebody go through the challenges that she went through and to navigate those spaces with grace is really another thing that I admire. And I know just like with different presidents, with different politicians, with different school teachers, with different restaurant owners, with different people, everybody is not going to like you. I think it's just important that regardless of who likes you and who doesn't like you, that you continue to be your best self. And so as long as you're being your best self and you are working towards alignment and giving your gifts to the world, I absolutely love that. And so being able to watch her and seeing that my mother admired her as well was really the cornerstone of me starting to talk to people publicly. It initially started with my mother first because my mother was a teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher. And I realized that even though I became a public school teacher, what I really wanted to do was talk. What I really wanted to do was speak. And so watching a television show, seeing how other people are able to leave legacy on film, I said, I want to do that for my son because I adopted a little boy. Well, he's not a little boy anymore. He's a young man. He's 16. But when I adopted him, he was 6 months old. And so I realized that I wanted to leave a legacy for him too. I want him to be able to pull up film. I want my grandchildren and my great grandchildren to be able to pull up film and say, hey, that's grandma, that's great grandma. You know, she left a legacy for us. She left us millions and billions. And so I want my family to be able to say that about me as well. So started with my mom and watching her educate people, and then turned into a passion for me being an educator and working in the classroom for over 20 years. And then eventually, you know what? I was like, I have something to say. And so I started recording for my son, and that transitioned into just kind of financial videos because that's what I do in my professional space. But then it just turned into fun, you know, having the coffee chats, turning into Carrie Connects. And now it's even blossomed from that, you know, where you and I met and we started a company called Besties Beyond Borders. And we're looking for different ways that we can collaborate and give our gifts collectively to the world. And I think that's just what it's really about.
So true. And, that's the thing about connecting and collaboration, partnership.
Mhm.
And I think that Oprah does that really well. Like, I mean, she's a great collaborator. Yeah, she's always supporting, helping others. Like, she's really doing a lot for her community. She show up, and regardless of what's happening, she's always showing up for whoever is in her
Mhm.
circle and even outside. So that's
Mhm.
definitely, something that we want to be able to aspire and to keep growing. And of course,
Yeah.
Besties Beyond Borders, that's just like one of the fun thing that came out of these cocoa chat, hot chocolate chat, and coffee chat, that I never expected, especially going into my yes year. And I'm just like, and I said yes to you, even though I was just like, nah, I'm not doing no podcast. I'm not interested in doing none of that. I just like, and people have been asking for months. I was like, nah. And then you
Mhm.
came along, and then it just happened. And then that's how Business Beyond Borders was born. You're in the U.S., I'm in Canada, and here we are connecting. And we talk every single day since we met March 3rd, right? So that's I remember the date. So we've can we say it's a friend anniversary soon, or maybe we passed it? I
May
don't know.
3rd.
May
May
3rd.
3rd.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna
That's
have to
5 days
celebrate
before
that.
my birthday. So yay.
Yes, it's your birthday next month. How exciting! And
Yeah, that is
so,
exciting.
so also I wanted to, I just wanted to show you what we've created for fun,
Yes. Wait, let me get mine. Let me get mine.
just so we can represent our each other's friends. And
Yes.
ooh, look at you, Besties Beyond
And I
Borders
got blue
caps.
because my bestie loves blue. That's her favorite color.
I have pink because my bestie loves pink, right? So,
Yes,
and then we
yes.
decided to create something that's just so we can like have her hot chocolate coffee chat, and we're always talking. So we're just like having her cup and then having her favorite drink.
This is good.
This is so cute.
Hey.
This is cute. I love it. I love it.
It's super, super cute.
Right?
Absolutely adorable.
Yeah.
Um,
So
really
from
love it.
yeah, so this friendship is blossoming every day, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited because I'm sure we're gonna have so many cool stuff coming up, and I'm really excited what the future holds for both of us. Like really.
Yeah, and I love the design that you created. It's Besties Beyond Borders. I love the airplane
Yeah.
with the heart. Like, how adorable is that? And so, Besties Beyond Borders is a brand, and we recognize that we are the brand. And that's why we try to really focus on having positive conversations, conversations about things that matter, personal tips, things that are going on throughout our day, throughout our life. That's important. And I have to tell you, one of the people that I haven't really talked to you about, who I've grown to adore, was recently on a podcast. It's called 154, and they bring people of African descent
Oh.
onto their show. I'm gonna get on their show. They're gonna stop playing with me. Omar, Akbar, and Godfrey, and Tiffany Haddish was their most recent guest, and so I love Tiffany Haddish. I think that what she's doing in the community is absolutely amazing. She's a giver. She's very real, and you don't see that a lot from a lot of people. But what I love about her is her authenticity, and she lived in foster homes. And I know that's probably, I'm like excited about it, but I love that because my son wasn't actually in three foster homes before I adopted him. I was the third family that he came to, and so I adopted him at 6 months old. But she was moving around through the foster care system and faced a lot of challenges, overcame them, And so I'm just super excited to be able to partner with her on some upcoming projects as well. Let me send that on out to the universe too.
Yes, universe, you heard Carrie, right? Like that's what she throws. So please listen. Sounds like she sounds like a really phenomenal individual. I'm
Oh,
looking
she's
forward to learn
amazing.
more about this person.
She's amazing. And the way that she overcomes her challenges, the way that she uplifts people, the way that she pours into people, the way that she educates people. Tiffany Haddish is one of the people that I would call an earth angel. She just really blesses people with her presence. Her comedic style is second to none. She's hilarious, but she's also genuine and authentic. She doesn't have a problem shedding a tear if she's telling the story that makes her sad. She's just a real human being. And what I love about that show in particular is that most of the people that come on the show, from what I've seen, they know whether it's their mother or their father, what country they're from in Africa. And so that inspires me. I have an ancestry DNA in my room in the drawer for my son. So when he's ready for that part of his journey, he can find and connect with his birth family. And so I love the idea that a lot of these people know that information about themselves. I think that's phenomenal.
Yeah, I think it's definitely important. I think we all want to know where we come from, who's our who's our people, what they
Hmm.
overcome, how was the journey for us to be here right now today. It means that throughout our history of our journey of our ancestors,
Hmm.
they managed to keep going for us to be here today. And I have
Yeah.
to say, through all the sacrifice they experienced, probably we probably are probably the most that we have the most freedom, and especially
Mm.
as women too. I would say
Yeah.
the freedom to make decisions, the freedom to go to school, the freedom to be able to open a bank account, to vote, to be able to decide to be single, having children, getting married, not getting married, like travel on your own, like all these things that probably some of our ancestors were able to do, not to do, but like here we are today and
Hmm.
able to enjoy life because of our
Absolutely.
ancestors' sacrifices.
The month that we met in March was actually National Women's History Month. And I remember being on a podcast as a guest, but that was one of the things that we talked about was just how far women have come. There was a time when you had to ask your husband to for permission to write a check, that you had to have permission to wear certain clothes. And so I just love that society has come so far and we have so far to go. But it's nice to see that we made some progress.
So true. And I'm excited for the future because it's just
Mhm.
it's nice to be able to see to have those opportunities and abilities, right? And
Yeah,
also what's happening in April, it's neurodiversity month.
it is. You know what, though? It's a lot of months this month. April is
Yes.
a busy month. April is National Jazz Month or Jazz History Month, National
Okay.
Grilled Cheese Month. So I went to an event this week and I sang a little bit, and that was fun. It was a grilled cheese and jazz event that I went to virtually. And so that was really, really an exciting time. And then it's also National Financial Literacy Month as well. So autism awareness, financial literacy, grilled cheese, and jazz all in 1 month.
Wow, there's just so many things to celebrate.
So many things to celebrate, things
um
to learn about. And there have been really some great conversations this week relative to autism awareness. My background as a public school teacher is working with students with special needs or working with students with diversity. And I think all of us in our own way are unique and diverse and probably would benefit from some accommodations and modifications in life, not just in school. And so it's exciting to see that people are being supported. I love that. I just love that we can have these conversations openly and honestly and just be our authentic selves. Such a great time. And I
yeah.
had a show yesterday, I had a show today, and now to be able to sit here and have this conversation with you, it's just fun. These are things that we may not have thought about doing in the past as women. And certainly not things that I thought about doing, even in prior to 2020. I hadn't thought about doing a podcast. I never thought about not teaching in the public school. And so life continues to evolve, and I think we benefit when we evolve with it.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta keep going, even if things are, you feel like things are not moving, things are
Hmm.
stagnant, it's not going the way you want. For me, like as simple as like, waking up with gratitude every
Yeah.
morning is like, you know what? I have a roof on my head. I had a hot shower. I had a meal. I'm already, it's a blessed day already. And
Hmm. Hmm.
even if that day nothing is happening, but I'm still get up, make my bed, because you got to make your bed, shower,
Gotta
get
make your bed.
ready, right? And then fix my face, my hair, like
Hmm.
look, somewhat feeling good for myself, for my mental and wellness. I think that's super important. That's how one of my strategy for self-care. Even if I'm not feeling great, I'm not sick, I have to do that every single day just to get the day started. And
Hmm.
also, because it is neurodiversity month, I donated to a Pulse Society, which is a school
I
for
know. That is
students.
so kind of
So I
you.
donated some products for the fundraising that is coming up, a gala, I think around May 9th. And because it's, some schools that are supporting children living with autism, and this school supports children that are children and youth. And when I was talking to the person, she mentioned that they don't necessarily get much funding from the government, and it's
Mm.
mostly privately funded, so they really rely on donations, fundraising, and that's really important. So if you don't have money, or like just giving your time, volunteer to a local community or support, maybe share their post, share their event, anything you can do to support, because I mean these children need support, because you never know, like, I mean some of these children need that support, they need it to grow, to develop, and just being a kind person. That's also what's important about being a human, being of
Yeah.
service. And
Yeah.
I think that's something that's important as an individual being on this planet. We're here for a short period of time, but we should make our time valuable, being of service, support others, and being here and help each other out.
Yeah. And you do such a great job with that. One of the things that makes me admire you even more is your giving, your philanthropy. Almost every time I talk to you, you're making soap, you're making bath bombs, you're putting boxes together that you can donate to people. And people need that type of support because sometimes people want quality products and they just aren't able to purchase them, but you make the lip balms and you make the nail polish. And so to be able to make those things for yourself and to make those things for other people, and then provide them as a donation. I know you sell them also, but to provide them as a donation is really, it's just a blessing. It's a blessing to be a blessing. And that's part of that universal alignment that the more we give, the more we receive. And that's part of that giving that makes the world just a better place to live in.
It totally does. And
So
everybody deserves some self-care.
yeah, and I was just gonna bring up to see how we were aligned. I was
Mm.
just gonna bring up self care. So I talked about my routine, my meditation, my breathing, my bathing, and you mentioned a few things that you meditate when you wake up. And but do you shower? Do you bathe? Like, what's that part of your process like? Is it like in the
So
morning, or is it before you go
definitely
to bed
shower in
at
the
night?
morning. I need a shower in the morning so I can like
Okay.
waking up. So I have to do that every single morning. I shower, and then get dressed, do my hair, because I have curly hair. So this
Mhm.
is a lot of work. And so it's like that's a good 30 minutes in the morning just to get it
Mhm.
going. But for me is also my evening routine, which is super important. And that's probably
Okay.
what is probably more important throughout the day than even food for me, is my 30-minute with my bath in the evening when I'm close to getting ready to bed. Is that 30-minute with coarse salt, lavender, augustifolia, lavender essential oil, which is the relaxing, calming kind that
Mhm.
actually helps you induce your sleep, and with a candle and piano music for 30 minutes. And
Mhm.
that's like my 30 minutes that I do not want to be bothered. If there's a fire, I don't care. I just need to have that moment for myself just to like disconnect, be in the water. I'm a fire sign, I guess Sagittarius. I need water to calm me down. Okay, so
Mhm.
that's for
Mhm.
me. I can be in the ocean. I can snorkel for 6, 7 hours straight, which is ridiculous. But you put me in the water, and I'm the happiest person in the world. And that's what I do, and I do it every single day. And if I miss a day or two, I kind of feel a little bit off. I feel like I'm not sleeping well as well, but that's something that I do, and I've been doing that since ever. I remember like even before being a teenager, because when you grow up with a family of like four brothers, that's the only
Mhm.
place you
Mhm.
can have quiet time
Yeah.
for yourself, right? So that's kind of how it
Yeah.
started. And
You got to have places you can go and relax and have peace
exactly.
and serenity.
So
That's
then I kept
important.
that routine, and for me that's just part of my everyday, and I need it. So
Yeah.
no, I encourage anybody to find something that helps you for self-care. It doesn't have to be, an hour, a 2 hour bath, but maybe you start small. Maybe you start with a 15 minutes of maybe reading something, or going for a walk,
Mhm.
or maybe having a tea, or just being in a corner with a quiet space, or maybe take a bath for like 20 minutes. Maybe you can do 2 hours, like you can build up to it, right? Everybody's different. But finding something that just brings you joy, because you know what? The world is the way it is. There's always chaos and things like that. But how can you create that little bubble for yourself to just help you
Mhm.
make you feel better and reconnect with yourself, and just have that safe, quiet space for yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to have that space for yourself. And speaking of baths at night, it is about 10 p.m. where I am. What time is it where you are right now?
8:05. So you're closer to bed than I am, but I'm
I
getting there,
am.
right?
I'm very close.
You're very close, but that's the beauty of this, being able to connect online, because really in real life we would probably never cross paths because we're in a different country. But thanks to technology, who we are today, chit
Mhm.
chatting, talking, having a casual conversation, and we are connected like we live in the same neighborhood. And that's what I like about Besties Beyond Borders, because wherever you are, you can find your bestie. And we want to hear
Yeah.
those stories. Hopefully, you can find yourself a bestie beyond borders somewhere, and connect and find someone that you can collaborate, partnership, do something fun, grow your network, meet people, because sometimes you can meet great people that are not necessarily close by, and they can be further out, right?
Mhm. That's true. So I think this was a great episode 3. I love that we got to talk about Besties Beyond Borders. We got to talk about Tiffany Haddish and Oprah Winfrey and what our goals are and people who inspire us. Now, who inspires you? I know you mentioned Oprah. Is there anybody else that you can think
I would
of?
say that's a good question, actually. Well, my mom, I think,
Yeah.
definitely, I think having a mother that, like, plays a role in, like, building you, growing you, and
Yeah.
it makes a big difference. And for people that are fortunate to have their mother around, it's a blessing. And for those who
Mhm.
doesn't, these are still people that are very important in part of your life growing up and who you become, right? So, um,
Absolutely.
right. And then I think next month is Mother's Day coming up. So
Yes, yes, it is. I knew you were going to say
yeah.
that.
So we'll
Y'all
definitely
see
gonna
how I
have.
did
Yeah, well,
that?
so you know what? Everybody has somebody special close to them. It doesn't have to be your mom. It can be a very close friend. It can be somebody, a close family member that kind of almost act like a parent. And
Mhm.
these are people that can be celebrated as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't have to wait until May to celebrate them. You can celebrate them year round. That's the great thing about life and living is that you can really make it your own. You only live once. And so I just encourage people to do some self-development, do some self-care, find your besties beyond borders. Let us know. We want to know in the comments. You can send us a DM. Let us know about your relationships with your besties beyond borders so you all can get your cups from us. And we're excited just to continue growing.
Yes, I love that. And on that note, it's good night for you, and then good night for me very soon.
All right. Well,
All
everybody,
right.
have a good
Bye.
night.